welcome to episode 13 of the Honeybird Studio Podcast. My name is Jenny, and you can find me on Instagram and on Ravelry as Honeybird Studio. I've got quite a bit to show today. I guess I've got a couple of finished objects, a couple of works in progress, and a couple of future knits that I'd like to talk about. So I guess let's just jump into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about is what I'm wearing. And this is my first finished object. This is the Clotilde cardigan by Pernille Larsen. And I'm going to do my best to get pictures today so I can get pictures on the screen of everything that I'm showing so you can get a better picture of my works in progress and my finished objects. So this is a cardigan made out of Craft Smart Value. Yeah, too close to the camera to really show you, but I really like how this turned out. I love the sleeves. I love that they are like kind of balloon sleeves. They're so cute. I love the lace detail on this. This pattern was really, I would say it was a little bit overwhelming at first because there are so many charts, but once you figure out like your size and which charts to follow, it's not as overwhelming as it appears to be when you first look at the pattern. If you're into like lace work, it's all charted. So I didn't check to see if it was actually had written instructions as well as charted instructions. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the charts were really easy to follow. I mean, if you can read charts, because I know newer knitters, or like even when I first started knitting, charts really overwhelmed me. I could read a crochet chart, but reading a knitting chart seemed like a whole other language. But as long as you have the what is it called, like the stitch legend on the side or somewhere on the pattern, it's, the symbol means or this symbol means SSK, that symbol means knit two together, etc., etc. So definitely, I definitely want to knit this again. I think the next time I would do the button bands. So like the way that this is you can knit it with the buttonholes in it as you're going, but I chose not to, just because I don't know, the cardigans that I own, I don't have buttons on my cardigans. I generally like an open front cardigan, but I think it would be cute to have something that has buttons on it. So maybe the next one I make. But yeah, so this was a very budget friendly project for sure. I made, like I said, I think I used Craft Smart Value, and it cost me, I think I got them on sale for $3 a ball. I held the yarn double, so I used 4 balls of Craft Smart Value, and I think I even had some left over. So technically, 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, so it basically cost me just over $12 to make this cardigan, and it's crazy because I've knit things out of acrylic before, but I've never actually paid attention to like when I wash them. And usually when I wash my sweaters, I hang them to dry or I lay them flat to dry. And when I made this cardigan, I thought, you know what, it's acrylic. Why not just throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and see what happens? And so I threw my other acrylic sweaters also into the dryer because I figured, what's the worst that could happen? And they came out like super soft. Like it's incredibly soft. Much softer than it was when it first went in. I'm noticing though that it does look like it's probably gonna pill, but that's okay. I don't really mind. But yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. And so I guess from here I'll go into finished objects. The first one is no surprise. It is a ripple bralette. This is designed by Jessie Maed Designs. So I made this out of loops and threads wool-like. I held it double to get the gauge that I like. And I love it. This is, I don't know, like I mentioned last podcast, I probably made about a dozen of them. So this is just one more onto the pile. And I've got my formula down to a science now. I know exactly how many rows for the bottom ribbing, how many rows for the body, how many rows for the back part, and how many rows for the straps that I do. So instead of like measuring inches or centimeters, I just go by stitches, because my gauge doesn't change, or hasn't changed throughout knitting all of these ripple bralettes. So I'm pretty excited to have another one to add to my collection. And I think this one was just, the colorway was called purple, either purple or violet. So it's coming out. I mean, yeah, it's pretty vibrant in this lighting. But yeah, so that's my ripple bralette. It's like I said, like my bazillionth one. My second finished object is actually from my last podcast, one of my future knits that I wanted to do, and I actually cranked this out within a week, I think. It was such a fun knit. So this is, so let me preface this with, I was watching Lisa of the Voblum podcast, and she was wearing the Provence top, and it looked so lovely on her, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to knit that too. So I went and bought the pattern. So this is my Provence top. It is a little bit cropped. Oh, it's a little bit wrinkly too, because I've had it folded up for a bit. But the yarn that I used is Knit 1 Crochet 2, and I think the yarn base was called Ambrosia. But it's so cool, like this detail in the front, like this kind of like V in the lace is so cute. Oh my gosh. And then the lace is also on the back. I'm so excited to wear this. I will say I didn't weave in the end on the bottom because I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it shorter or longer, but I think once I blocked it, it grew to the size that I wanted, and so I think I'm going to try it on with some of my dresses, and I'll try and get some pictures as well to see how the length is with my dresses. And yeah, I really want to make another one in lavender. The sample was knit up in like a lavender color, and it just looked, it's so cute. So I think I'm probably gonna knit another one, not anytime soon, but like certainly another one for the summer, because I think it'll be a great addition. I think I mentioned before, when I find something that I like, I'll knit it twice, different colors. I'm the kind of person that has the same shirt in 5 different colors, the same pants, and like the same leggings in like 3 or 4 different colors: black, gray, medium gray, etc. So when I find something that I like, I get multiples of them, because why not? That's just how I am. But yeah, so that is, did I say the Provence top is by Ekaterina Vorobeva? I might have butchered that, but everything, all the links will be in the description so that you can find these patterns. But yeah, so I'm super excited about this finished object. Let's see. So my technically my 4th finished object since my last podcast is a big one. Oh my gosh. So this too was one of my future knits that I wanted to cast on after my last podcast. And this is the Festival of Stitches shawl, or wrap. And this is by, I wrote it down, by Elisa Haynes. And this is a beast of a shawl. Like, okay, so let me hold it the right way. So it starts like this triangle. Here we go. Let me see if I can like back up. There we go. So it's got like this triangle here, and it's got bobbles. Hopefully you can, I can't tell if it's focusing, but hopefully you can see those bobbles. And then it goes into this really beautiful lace detail here, and then some color work, and then cables. It's kind of hard to see on the black. And then these like little raindrops, and then a little ribbed border. And then on the opposite side, it's got the lace detail again, the color work, but in the opposite color, the cables in the gray, the raindrops in the black, and then the ribbing border. This was so exciting to knit on. When I first cast it on, I was very gung-ho to get through the triangle so I could start working on the lace part and the color work. And yeah, so the way that this particular pattern is written is, I think it was originally a mystery knit along, and so it's got, I think, 5 different clues. So each clue you're doing something different on the pattern or on the shawl. And so it was really fun to kind of go clue by clue. I mean, I already knew what it was going to look like because I saw all the pictures on the page, on the Ravelry page. But it was cool to just go clue by clue, kind of like follow along, and just to see how the colors like played together. I originally wanted to do the black, gray, and pink, like it's in the sample picture. But when I was at Knit City last year, I got this yarn from the Ginger Snap booth, and this is in their Zest fingering base. I'm trying to remember what the colors were called. I know this one is called Deco. I don't remember what the black and the gray are called, but I feel like the colors look really good together. I'll see if I can... I don't know how to wear... I'm not entirely sure how to wear this because it is so big. I think mine ended up being like 10 inches longer than the sample. So I mean, like, I can wrap this thing around a number of times. Let's see. Oh, I need a mirror so I can see. I want to make sure that all the textured stitches are on the outside. But anyways. But it's so cute. I love it. Like, it's such a big shawl or a big wrap. So wearing it kind of bunched up like this looks pretty cute too. But yeah, I'm super excited to have this off the needles. So the first 3 clues I was really excited to get through. I flew through them, and then I think once I got past the okay, I love the lace, I love the color work. It was the cables where I started to slow down a bit because it's a lot of cables. So you can see, like, that's the cable section, and you do that on like both sides, so you see that, and then the black one on this side. I think I lost a little bit of steam on that just because it was just a little, I mean, it wasn't like too much, but my hand was kind of cramping from all of the cables. So I ended up taking a break after the first cable section, and then I came back and then I finished off the raindrops and the ribbing. And then it was and then I had to go back and do it on the other side. So I just kind of like powered through it one night. I did make a mistake in the ribbing here, but no one's gonna see, so I don't think anyone's gonna look that close, and I don't mind. I didn't want to. I noticed it way too late, and I was like, I'm not gonna undo 10 rows of ribbing just because I made one mistake, and it was a mistake across the whole row. So I don't know. I don't think it's very noticeable, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, so that was the Festival of Stitches wrap shawl. I think it was called, yeah. But yeah, so that is, I feel like I'm kind of speeding through here. Let me just organize myself a little bit. So that was that was all my finished objects. And I think I've got 4 works in progress? Yeah, so I've got 4 works in progress to show today. The first one I'm going to show has a bit of a sad story. So this is in my Ginger Snap bag. I think I showed this last podcast. I picked this up at Knit City last year from the Ginger Snap booth. It's a really nice bag because it opens up like a box kind of thing. So in here is my Whitmoor sweater, and this is by Amy Lowden. And as you can see, there's no yarn attached to it. I think I've got, let's see, where's the back? This is, okay. So this is my Whitmoor sweater that I was working on last time, that I think I was done the sleeve. I was done the first sleeve, or I was almost done the first sleeve, and I hadn't picked up for the second sleeve yet. The yarn that I'm using is, I believe it was Elizabeth Lavold Classic Silky Wool. And it's like a black, it's kind of like a charcoal black, I guess. Anyway, so, which side did I mess up on? Okay, one of these I messed up on. Okay, so this was the side that I did correctly. So I counted I counted 10 stitches per marker to the length that I liked. And then I did the same on the other side, but somehow I missed, I don't know. I thought I had gotten 100 here, and then I counted an extra 20, but I only had 90, and I counted 20, so it was 10 rows shorter than it's supposed to be. So if I were to, here, let me go this way. If I was to hold the sleeves up against each other, you can see this one is 10 rows longer than this one, and I had already cut the yarn off. I was sitting down having a weave-in party where I was weaving in the ends for everything. I was weaving in the ends for this, for my Provence top, for my ripple bralette, for my festival stitches. I just sat down and cranked it all out in a couple of hours. This was the last thing I was going to do. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to count the stitches one more time. And that's when I realized I made a mistake. So it's kind of sitting in the timeout corner. It's really not that much that I have to do. I'm just going to rip back the ribbing, add 10 rows of stockinette, and then add the ribbing back. So it's really not that bad, but yeah, it's sitting in timeout right now. I'm gonna definitely have it done this week though, for sure, because I really want to start wearing this, because I feel like it's gonna be like kind of a transitional sweater, because it's not like heavy wool. Like the silk blend that's in this is really, like, feels very lightweight. So I'm looking forward to wearing this over, I don't know, some dresses or something. I love me some dresses. I need to buy more. Yeah, so that is one work in progress, which is, like I said, it'll be done soon. I will get to it eventually. My second work in progress is not going to be a surprise at all. It is another ripple bralette by Jessie Maed Designs. And again, I'm using Loops and Threads Wool-like. And this time I'm making this kind of bluish teal color. So I just finished the bottom ribbing, and I'm about to start the body of the ripple bralette. So I've got everything in here that I need. I've got my other set of 16-inch needles, and then I've got my double point needles for when I get to the straps. And this is the yarn. It's Loops and Threads Wool-like. And this color is Teal Lake. And it's really nice. It is a really nice blue. I kind of wish that the Michaels near me had more color options. Like when this yarn first came out, they must have had like, I don't know, 20 different color combinations. I remember I bought a whole bunch of them, but then when I destashed all of my acrylic yarns a couple years ago, I donated a bunch, pretty much my entire acrylic stash I donated to a good cause. I'm sure the people who received my yarn were very happy to get it, and I gave them like my straight needles as well, so, and a ball winder. But anyways, yeah, so that is another ripple bralette. I think I mentioned last time, I'm probably always going to have one on the needles, just because if I'm not making one for myself, I'm making one for my younger sister, because she really likes them as well. That was the second work in progress. So the third work in progress is in this bag. This is just one of these like felted bags that I got from my local fabric store. I think I mentioned before. I have a bunch of these. They're always on clearance for like $15 or something. So my third work in progress here is my Woodstone wrap. So this is, ooh, I'm getting my yarn all tangled. Did I forget to bring, oh no, okay, I got it. Okay, so this is my Woodstone wrap that I'm making out of 2 strands of Estelle yarns. So I'm holding 1 strand of their Eco Shetland Worsted. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. And this is the colorway Caramel. Oh, it's so pretty. I don't know if it's going to focus. Come on. And then the other one I'm using is Alpaca Whisper. So that's also in the Caramel colorway. Oh, it's not quite going to focus. But so I'm holding these 2 together. And that's giving me a really beautiful fabric. That is just so glorious. I don't know if the camera's gonna, I can't tell if it's actually like focusing, but this is the stitch. This is like what I've dubbed the Woodstone motif, I guess. And it's basically cables, lace, and cables. And it's very, very easy, easy to memorize pattern because it is just an 8-row repeat. So once you've done a couple of repeats, it's very intuitive, or it becomes intuitive where, you know the next stitch, what comes after this stitch. And like, I've got the numbers like totally memorized, or like committed to memory. So it's like knit. So it's like, what is it? Knit 6, purl 2, purl 2, purl 8, purl 2, purl 2. It's like I've got it committed to memory, and like every time when I'm knitting, it's kind of like a song in my head, knit, purl, knit, knit, purl, knit, purl. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but I'm always, even if I'm watching a podcast or listening to a podcast or listening to music or watching a movie, I still have this like little voice in my head that's saying knit, knit, purl, slip, slip, knit, knit, 2 together. It's almost like this little musical thing that's in my head, and it's, yeah, anyways, I digress. But yeah, so it's coming along. I'm more than 2/3 of the way through. This is how long it is right now. I think that's almost my wing. Oh, it is my wingspan. Yeah. So I've got let's see, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 repeats. I think I've got maybe 10 more repeats to go, and then I'll be casting off. So this particular pattern design, I'm making it so it's gonna use 3 balls of, or 3 skeins of the Eco Shetland Worsted and 2 skeins of the Alpaca Whisper, held together. Oh, okay, I thought I made a mistake. That would have been tragic. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about this. I'm getting it written up, or like it's really, I really just have to sit down and get it from paper to the computer, and then I'll be ready to send it to my test knitters. So yeah, that's hopefully going to happen soon. Cause I'd like to, I know it's like spring and summer's coming up, and it's not really like it's not like totally weather appropriate, but I really want to get the design out because I've been sitting on it for too long, and I don't want to sit on it for too much longer. But yeah, so that is that work in progress. So my last work in progress is actually not knitting related. It's actually crochet. And this kept me up all night last night because I was so excited to crochet on it. Like I was just so excited to be crocheting on something. So I was looking at some patterns on Ravelry, like some crochet patterns, like crochet dresses for the summer and stuff like that, because I kind of like the look of like the crochet lace, kind of like boho chic kind of look to it. And so when I was on Ravelry, I found I favorited a bunch of different designs that are like a bunch of different patterns that I went back to later and like sifted through them and figured out which ones that I really wanted to make. and I landed on one that's called, it's called Terrestrial, and it's by Mermaidcat Designs. And so I'll give you a little sneak at what it looks like. It's not really much to look at the moment because it's not, I'm starting on, okay, this is upside down. But I think this is supposed to be the shoulder. Like, this is going to be the back, and then this is where it comes over the shoulder, and then I think that's the sleeve. I'm not sure. I haven't read too far into the pattern because there's like 40 pages. And it's all laid out really, like, it's literally picture, like, there's a picture for every single row that you do. And I will say, not having crocheted in a couple of years, I mean, the most crochet I've done is, like, I did virus shawls like 6 years ago, back in like 2015, 2016. That was like my extent of my crochet at that time. And then between then and now, I think I've only done one baby blanket that was a corner to corner blanket. So it was nice to actually do something that was an actual pattern piece. So you can kind of see like the sort of lacy kind of detail on here. That's so cool. Yeah, so it took me a little bit to wrap my mind around it again. I mean, I know my single crochets, I know my chains, my double crochet, triple crochet, how to count my chains, how to count the spaces, how to how to crochet into a stitch, and etc., etc. So it was kind of like, you know, riding a bike. Once I started doing it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this. And so, yeah, so I'm really excited. I stayed up really late last night working on this because I was just too excited to put it down. The yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand True Boo. So I got this on sale. Like, Michael's was having 30% off of all their yarn, like their whole entire yarn. And I had been wanting to try this yarn, but I didn't want to buy it at full price because for the amount that I needed 7, and I think it's like $8, $7 or $8 a ball. I was like, I don't really want to pay that much. So it was nice that they had a sale, and I was like, well, now's the opportunity to do it, to get it. The hook that I'm using is my Haya 3.5 millimeter. So it's pretty small. But I really, the way that I crochet is different. And so, like, the way I hold my hook is kind of like with these 3 fingers, and I tension my yarn in my pointer finger and my thumb, and then I hold, like, I actually switch the hook between my hands as I'm crocheting. It's very bizarre, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's very bizarre because it's just the way that I do it. I've never actually met anyone that does it the same way, because I've seen people holding it like a pencil or holding it like I don't know. It's just the way that I hold it is just different. I mean, then again, I don't know very many people that crochet, so maybe I shouldn't be talking. Maybe people do crochet the same way that I do. But anyways, I'm excited about this. I'm hoping it'll fit. The only thing I'll say about this pattern is that it only has 2 sizes, and the way that it's sized is that it's small, medium, and then medium large, I think, or something like that. And the way that you size up is by going up a hook size and going up yarn weight. So this is like a sport DK weight on 3.5 millimeter, and the size up is worsted weight on a 4.5 millimeter. So I don't know. We'll see if it fits. If it doesn't, I think I can. Crochet is pretty easy to adapt, or like to just add. Like, it's so easy to add to crochet. You're picking up stitches, and just wherever you want to pick up stitches, you just put your hook in and you just start chaining stitches and stuff. But yeah, so that's my crochet project that I'm working on right now. And there's a couple of other ones, like a couple of more, like this is going to be, I'll make sure to put a picture on the screen, but this is kind of like a dress, kind of, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't, looking at the pictures and looking at the patterns, or sorry, the pages, oh my gosh, what's it called? The project pages, looking at the project pages, it looks like it comes in the front and then you can crochet it closed, or maybe like crochet a button band or something, or you can, yeah, either crochet a button band and put buttons down the front, or you can crochet both halves together, or you can like make it a tie to tie it around. But I think that's it. I think that's it for my works in progress. That's it for my finished objects. So what I wanted to talk about now, if you're interested, is my future knits. The first one is called Faye Summer Top, and it is by Irene Lynn. And I am planning to use some stash yarn. This is Cascade Eco Hemp. So I've got this. It's really, I originally had this, started knitting a cardigan with this yarn. So I have like a ball that I had wound up, and then I ended up tearing the project out because it wasn't going to fit and I wasn't liking it. And I had sunk so many hours into it that I considered not frogging it, but you know what, I'd rather reclaim the yarn and put it into a project that I'm really going to like. And so I'm reclaiming it for my, what did I say? Oh yeah, the Faye Summer Top. Because I think it's just so cute. It's such a pretty top, and it looks like it'll be very interesting, like texture-wise, stitch-wise, like it'll be an engaging pattern. So I'm really looking forward to casting that on my needles. And I really like this color. This purple is, I like, and it's, what is this? 80% wool and 20% hemp, I think is what it is. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it would be a cute spring top, I guess. Yeah. So that's my future knit number 1. My future knit number 2 is the Clara Camisole, and that is by Annie Park, and I'm planning to knit that out of this Estelle Eco Tweed DK. Those are some really, I originally, again, I had bought this for a different project, and that kind of fell through. I ended up not wanting to do it, so I'm pulling this from my stash to make the Clara Camisole. So this is 75% organic wool and 25% this is cellulosic viscose. Yeah, I guess that's like, I'm not 100% sure what that is, but it says it's organic certified. But anyways, it feels really nice, and I kind of like the tweed effect on it, and I'm hoping that it'll translate well into the camisole that I want to make. It's another cute summer top, or like a spring summer top. It's got like little ruffles at the bottom. I think I got a sort of theme going on here. So that's future knit number 2. My third future knit that I want to make is called the what is it? The Bauxite by Samantha Stadter. And that is, I think it's a one size pattern as well. But I think it's a free. If you go to, I think on the Ravelry page, you can purchase the pattern for like $2 or something. But if you go to her blog, her website, you can get it for free. I think she's got the whole thing posted there, and then you can just follow the blog. But I'm planning to use this. Again, I'm diving into, this is deep stash. This is like 6 years old deep stash. This was like one of the first things I bought when I discovered a local yarn shop out here. So this is Drops of Lace, a mix of baby alpaca and mulberry silk. Does it say somewhere on the band. It doesn't say the exact. Oh, here it is. 70% alpaca, 30% silk. So it's like, it's definitely a lace weight. Oh, here, let me just pull these out of the way so you can see. It's like kind of an oatmeal color. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do, the pattern I think calls for fingering weight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold these double, or hold these together. And I think that's going to give me what I need. If not, I'm going to make it work. I'll figure it out. It's got 875 yards on here, 800 meters. And I think holding them together will still be enough to make the bauxite. So I'm excited about that. Again, another summer knit. I'm excited about this particular pattern because I'll be able to wear it over my bralettes. So because that's what I was looking for, was something light and lacy, or light and airy, that I could wear over top of my ripple bralettes, because I'm going to have a ton of ripple bralettes to wear throughout the summer. But yeah, that's it for my future knits. I think the last thing, yeah, so that's pretty much it for the knitting content. That's everything. I feel like I might have sped through this episode. I feel like, okay, I really did not sleep much last night. I had to force myself to go to bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I basically got out of bed at 7 because I was like, I can't do this. I can't lay in bed. I need to get up and I need to crochet. I was just too excited to crochet on that one project. So anyways, when I haven't slept very much, I get a little loopy. So don't mind me if I've, sped through things. I mean, I hope you don't mind that I feel like I rushed through things, but I had more to show last time than I did this time. But I also, I think, no, yeah. Anyways, yes. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was actually, something that I bought for myself for my birthday this year. I kind of treated myself to a needle case, and I actually brought both of them, or actually I own 3 of them. One was kind of a hand-me-down before I bought my own, so it's a little bit different, and it's like kind of an older version. But a couple years ago, I bought one for myself for my birthday, and then this year I bought a new one for myself for my birthday, and these are called it's called a needle book. A friend of mine, who I met through the yarn shop before they closed, she sews these needle books. And so it's got like the zipper, it closes all the way. And this was the first one I bought. Like, this was back in 2017, because this was kind of my color palette. I kind of like the blacks, reds, and white, because my bedroom theme was this, and so it was kind of my jam. But this year, she showed me some of the fabric she picked out, and I saw the cherry blossom fabric, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's my jam. This is now my jam. The pinks and the purples for sure. So this one is my main needle book. This is the one that I hold the needles I use the most, and my crochet hooks that I use the most. Well, I haven't been using my crochet hooks, so let's be honest. I'm using one crochet hook now, but I still like keep them in here. So it's got a zipper that goes all the way, and then it opens up. Ta-da! It's so cool. So I've got all my cords here. There's even like little, let's see if I can show you. Like, there's little tabs here that you can actually write, like, on the little piece of paper what the lengths are of the cords. And then there's a little zipper pouch here. Let's see, what do I got in there? Oh yeah, so I got like my the cord stoppers and some stitch markers and some needle stoppers. And then that page flips over, and then here's the next one. So I've got my crochet hooks on the top. So crochet hooks, and then one needle, or one set of needles, and then I've got all my other needles down. Well, not all of them, but like a set of needles down here. It's kind of a mishmash of like the wood needles, the metal, and like these, I think they were called like ginger or something like that. And then I've got my 9-inch circular needles that I never use in here. I bought them just to try them out. I got some other fixed needles in here, my 16 inches. And then I've got my needle gauge thing. What is this? Yeah, it's my needle gauge and my gauge swatch ruler thing. And then on the last page, it's got another pocket. I don't think I have anything in it. But then I've got all, like, not all of them, but I think these are, like, mostly my sock knitting DPNs that I don't actually use for socks anymore because I have Haya, what are they called? No, the Addy Flexi Flips is what I use now. But yeah, so I was just in love with this. When I saw the fabric, I knew I had to have it. Like, she matched the fabric so well. Like, look at that. That is so cool. So I'm really excited about this. And then, this was my first one. So this one's my backup. This one's holding on to some more cords. So you can see the color theme is, you know, red, gray, black, white. And then I think I've got I got some extra cord stoppers there. I've got an extra set of needles and some more crochet hooks at the top. And then, and then the rest of my crochet hooks on the back here. So it's really super handy. It was definitely an investment, for sure. She sells them for 150 Canadian, and I like the amount of work that goes into these is just insane. She even does, she showed me that, like, this part here, she, hand sews, or, like, there's a couple of pieces in here that are hand sewn, and I think she said there's, like, over 100 pieces of fabric in each one of these, if not more, or something crazy like that. But, she I say just recently, she did open an Etsy shop, I think back in January, and it's kind of slow going, I'll be honest. But yeah, I mean, she does, if it's something that you're interested in, I think she only has 5 different ones listed right now, but she must have at least like 20, 30, 40. She's got a lot of them, and she's got a lot that are like in the works. So I'm sure that, like, if you're interested in looking at them or purchasing one or whatever, and you don't see a color palette or like a particular, I wouldn't say color palette. If you don't see a color palette that catches your eye, I'm sure you could probably email her and ask her if, like, oh, do you have anything in the purples or anything in greens or blues or whatever, and I'm sure she would be happy to take pictures and show you, I guess. It's I've been wanting to get another one for myself. I mean, like, this is the one that I wanted to get for myself, and I think having 2 is plenty for me right now. Like I said, I do have a third one, but it was kind of a hand-me-down. So it was from another friend of hers who purchased one, and then, like, hers was a little bit different because hers had more needle holders, or like more pages of, like, holding needles. And she had written on the fabric, like, what size of the needles are. So it's kind of it was like, yeah, my backup one, or it was like my first kind of hand-me-down one, and then I bought them for myself because they're so nice. But yeah, so I don't know, I just thought I was organizing them yesterday, and I thought it would be interesting to show on the podcast because I don't know, I like it. I think it's really cool, and it's one of my favorite things, honestly. It's, like I said, it's an investment, but it just makes me so happy. But yeah, anyways, I will link her shop below. Her Etsy shop is Needle Books by Edna. And I tried to get her onto Instagram, but it's not going much anywhere right now. So, we'll see where that goes. So yeah, I think that's it. That's everything I have to talk about. That was lots of tangents at the end there. Yeah. So like I said earlier, I probably won't be podcasting again until more towards the end of April, I think. I want to say, I think I calculated it out. It was supposed to be 3 weeks from now, but it's going to end up being 4 weeks from now. So I will not see you guys until basically a month from now. Yeah. But yeah, until then, I hope you enjoy your knitting and your crochet or anything that you're crafting on, anything that you're making. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Happy knitting. Bye.